To Egypt now, and a military court has sentenced 17 people to death for their involvement in bomb attacks on churches in 2016 and 2017. 19 people have also been handed life in prison convictions. 15 others are to serve 8 years in jail for the same charges. The churches that were hit are in Cairo, the Mediterranean city of Alexandria, and the Nile Delta city of Tanta. ISIL militants claimed responsibility for the strikes. The offensive killed more than 80 people and wounded over 100. The sentences are subject to appeal. State news agency MENA said that some of the defendants were also accused of killing at least 8 policemen in an ambush on a checkpoint in Egypt's western desert. We're now joined live by Adel Mahroui in Cairo to give us more on this story. Adel, this verdict brings back memories of those devastating church bombings. What more can you tell us about the court ruling?
Well, the court is a military court that has taken responsibility for the investigations of the 3 church bomb attacks that happened within about 6 months from each other. The first happened in December 2016 and the others in Palm Sunday in April 2017. At least 82 people have been killed in all 3 attacks and more than 100 others injured in these incidents. The defendants have been accused of organizing a terrorist organization that belongs to ISIL in Cairo and other Egyptian cities and planning the attack, and also some other charges have been filed against them in premeditated murder against about 14 other police officers. But the main accusations are for the church attacks, the bloodiest Egypt has seen in its history. And one of the sites for the attack itself has been the St. Mark Cathedral here in Cairo, which is the headquarters for the Coptic Pope Tawadros II. And security there is usually extremely tight, and it was the first time such an incident takes place, not at the cathedral itself, but at the chapel within the vicinity and the area of the cathedral itself. The further details about the sentences itself have not been given into details. This is a military court, as I mentioned earlier, and usually information are quite strict, and only a limited information that is publicly announced by the military court is available to the media.
And Adel, the manner in which death sentences are passed in Egypt has often been a source of criticism for the Egyptian justice system. What is likely to be the reaction this time?
Well, this time it is not a political involved criminal case. The main accusations have fallen over Egypt in the mass trials that were investigating the violence that broke after the 2013 evacuation of the pro-Muslim Brotherhood sit-in camps here in Egypt. And in these cases, we've seen hundreds, 600, sometimes 700 defendants at the same time being sentenced to death or life in prison. This is where the accusations have been falling over the Egyptian state in general, but the judicial authority has been always persistent that it is independent and it moves along with the Egyptian law in general. This time, however, it is quite different. It is a tragic terrorist attack that has seen the death of innocent civilians and has seen particularly a targeting the Egyptian Coptic Christian minority. So it might be looked on in a different way. It is a military court after all, and a military court has its own restrictions and its own limits, whether it's transparency or direct media access. Military courts almost always hold their sessions far from any media surveillance over the proceedings of the trial. However, the defendants are allowed and should be allowed to have their own defense team that they select. If they don't have a select team, they usually get appointed by the military court itself. So the proceedings are quite different than what Egypt used to get criticized for.
All right, Adel Mahroui live in Cairo. Thank you.